Hello everyone, welcome to this new video in which we are going to be discussing about very broadly the different kind of offerings, GPU offerings provided by NVIDIA company. Now, I personally wanted to make this video because I feel when I was starting out with deep learning, I felt it was very confusing for me to kind of understand at a very high level how GPUs offered by NVIDIA are structured. Although you might think that why not cover other companies, but since 92% of the market share of GPU is captured by NVIDIA, so it makes sense to cover only the NVIDIA only, right? Now, there are thousands of, I would not say thousand, but hundreds of different GPUs offering by NVIDIA. And what I have done over the period of time is I've tried to classify them into some categories. Okay, so I would like to write it here, so possibly something like categories. Okay, now let's start one by one. So the first category of GPUs are, I'm putting all the different kind of GPUs which can be you can say installed on a single laptop or a server on a simple machine which we can run on our own, and that we can call as consumer gaming. Okay, consumer gaming GPUs, consumer gaming GPUs. Now these are very simple GPUs, and also they will have something known as VRAM, that is RAM associated with the GPU, memory associated with the GPU in the ranges of 12 GB to 24 GB. And you can remember, you can basically recall that RTX category of GPUs can fall under these categories. And when I say RTX, I'm talking about even RTX and GTX. Although GTX has been now outdated and it's not in use much, but yeah, so this is what we can put under the category of consumer. And we are seeing RTX numbers starting from 20 to 50. So there are total 4 different kind of GPUs provided under this category. And one thing that I should note here is that, let me add the note here, RTX 20 was the first to support the Tensor core and ray tracing core, and I will call it RT core. Now Tensor core are specialized cores within the GPU for deep learning tasks, whereas ray tracing is for rendering high dimensional 3D models. Now also NVIDIA follows a naming convention, so they call their RTX 30 following the Ampere architecture, and the 40 follows the Ada Lovelace, and 50 follows the naming convention of Blackwell. I won't go into the exact implementation of these architectures. I just wanted that this is something that you should probably know, and it would help you to know this information. Now second category of GPUs that we have are what is known as professional workstation. Now these are for folks who are into, you can say, they have professional setups for video editing and things like that. And in this we have RTX A generation of series of GPUs. Essentially, precisely, we have starting from 2000 to 6000, or rather I should say 2000, 4000 and 6000. I don't have anything much to talk about these generation, but I would like to mention here that RTX A are very similar to RTX and GTX, but they have some high bandwidth and high VRAM. Now in the third category we have the data center and AI related GPUs. And under this category, I would like to put first of all the old vintage one, which is called V100, which is now discontinued by Tesla. So I can, not Tesla, sorry, these are called Tesla and they are discontinued. Then we have A100, which also known as, again, it comes from Ampere architecture. And then we have H100. Now H100 and A100 are pretty much exactly same, but with H100 we started supporting floating point 8 and floating point 16 operation. And these two kind of GPUs are most heavily used these days in data centers, and these are having VRAMs ranging from 40 to 80 or even 100 GBs. Okay, they are alone not enough to train models like GPT, but they are quite powerful. And what we can do is we can create a cluster of GPUs where we have thousands of A100 or thousands of H100, and then we can utilize the interconnect facility provided by NVIDIA, with which we can connect all these GPUs and they can talk to each other. Then on the fourth, I will call these small scale GPUs, and they are basically, and also in another words I can call them inference or deployment GPUs. Now these are specialized GPUs which can be put into mobile devices, and I think there are only two kinds of GPUs available here, T4 and L4. They have less VRAM and they can essentially be put into a deployment perspective. Okay, under the fifth category we have edge or embedded devices. Now here I would like to talk about the robotics thing. So this is essentially related to robotics. So these kind of GPUs are built into the robots and all, and we are seeing Jetson category of, and these are very recently announced, Jetson category of GPUs. Essentially we have got Nano and Javier and Orion. Okay, so these three kinds of GPUs are available under the under this broad category, edge or embedded devices. Then we have the sixth category at last, and that is, these are related to applications where you need to deploy GPUs on a automotive devices, and their name starts with drive. And under the drive we have again Javier, Orion and Thor. So now this completes my discussion on these 6 categories of GPUs which NVIDIA offers. Now if you count the exact number of GPUs, then it would be in hundreds. Okay, but I wanted to personally create this video because I faced this problem personally while I was starting out, to mentally create a framework of different kind of GPUs which are available out there. So yeah, so that would be it for this video. If you think this provided you any kind of value, let me know in the comments, and also please like the video and subscribe the channel. Let me know if you want anything else to be covered in future. Have a nice day.